It's a bunch of crazy, terrorist-loving, nasty people harassing Jews in a synagogue on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Absolutely outrageous. The horrible things they were saying. Supporting violence against Jews. Harassing those people inside that synagogue. Professor Lax, are you there, sir?
I'm here, Greg. Good to be with you.
Oh, my goodness gracious. You're from CUNY. You know the law, and I believe you're a great Jew. And I can't believe this happened. And Mamdani's statements seem to be anti-Jewish. The Jews are a victim of a horrible protest and horrible language, and they're the problem. Can you take us through it, please?
Yeah, I mean, there are so many disgusting levels to this. Let's just start with the basics of what happened. You have these lunatic Islamist extremist radicals who are harassing Jewish people going to their house of worship, for goodness sakes, sacred place. And that itself is a violation of federal law. You cannot harass people. It's called the FACE Act, and it's a federal statute that prevents people from doing just that, preventing individuals from going into houses of worship, harassing them going into houses of worship, blocking the entrances of houses of worship. But instead of focusing on that, what does our lovely future mayor do? He actually goes out and blames the Jews for the anti-Semitic incident. And what does he say? He goes in and he says, the synagogue's, quote, should not be used to promote activities in violation of international law. So he's a complete idiot, because what he's talking about is the International Criminal Court, the ICC. The ICC has zero jurisdiction over the United States. The ICC is a consequence of the Rome Statute. The United States is not a party to the Rome Statute. So when Mamdani says crazy things like he's going to arrest IDF soldiers, or Netanyahu is a famous one in New York City, he is legally not allowed to do that. In fact, there are very good legal arguments to be made that if he tries to do that, he should be the one that's arrested. He does not understand international law, or he just doesn't care about it. And what really matters is the United States Constitution and United States federal law. That's what counts. You're talking about U.S. citizens. He's talking about settlements and occupied land. That has no context whatsoever to a Jewish citizen of the United States in a synagogue here in the United States.
So it's kind of like, I don't know, I mean, imagine a church in the 1980s, and there were a bunch of anti-Christians yelling and screaming, you know, they want to defile the church, making anti-Christian statements. And inside the church, they're talking about Ireland. And,
exactly.
and somebody makes a crazy case. Well, that's, you shouldn't be talking about Ireland in the church because that's a controversial matter, Northern Ireland and the rest. It's just insane. Now, look, unfortunately, he said this, I mean, which is about as bad as it gets. It really does. He crosses the line, but he does it all the way over in this dark corner. People don't understand how bad it is, what he's doing. So he's clever about it. But I am shocked and disappointed that there is not more robust pushback. He's getting away in the biggest city in the world with anti-Semitism. And that last night, the night before, that was anti-Semitism at its worst. And he's getting away with it.
Yeah, and it's way beyond anti-Semitism. It is anti-American. This actually, I really, truly believe, is insurrectionist language. Because what he's really saying here, he's saying U.S. law does not matter as much as international law. So what it tells you is he has no respect for the American legal system at all, because what he's saying is actually illegal. You're not allowed to do these things that he's telling you in the United States of America. The United States has rejected the Rome Statute that covers the ICC. So it's not even legal. But what he's really telling you is U.S. law is not as important as international law. That is a bunch of bull crap. The United States, like every sovereign nation, is entitled to their own laws. And what he's saying is, no, they're not. That is insurrectionist language. People used to throw that term around on the far left a few years ago. This is actual insurrectionism because he is supplicating the U.S. to international law that does not apply to us. Listen, what international, for people who are not lawyers, just to oversimplify this a little bit, international law is really just treaties. That's all it is. It's a treaty. It's not real law. Real law is what your country's constitution and the laws underneath that, what they say. And he wants to ignore those.
Let me ask you this. President Trump, strong supporter of Israel, as we all know, greatest friend ever, and he's deeply skeptical of this Mamdani character. But do you think President Trump, how's this meeting going to go down? I mean, I think this guy's got to be put on notice. This is not we're all going to get along. This is, you step out of line, pal, you're in big, big, big trouble. That's what I hope happens.
Yeah, they're meeting in a few minutes, right? I mean, I'm very curious to see how this goes. The thing with people like Mamdani that I think most people don't understand, maybe Trump does, I don't know. They are deeply ideological. They have no sense whatsoever of rationality, pragmatism, anything like that. If you listen to him speak, and the reason I know this is because I work with people like this on my campus. I know how their brain works. They are not interested in compromise. They have used, and in their private secret meetings, and I have evidence of this, they are using the Democratic Party as a Trojan horse. They always have. They hate what I keep telling everybody, and I've done this for 10 years now, the socialists cannot stand the Democrats. The Democrats are the biggest fools in all this, and they're ruining our country because they've allowed the socialists to enter their party to get into U.S. politics. But you see it happening now that the socialists are trying to destroy the Democratic Party and make it a socialist party, and that's what's going to happen.
All right. Well, we're going to watch this guy like a hawk, and I can't believe this is happening. But how do you see it playing out? Just bottom line predictions. What?
Well, I think you're going to see boycott of Jewish businesses across New York City. He's already said he supports boycotting of anybody affiliated with Israel. I think what happened the other night at Parkey Synagogue is very telling. It tells you he doesn't care about U.S. law. I can't emphasize that enough. You placed some kind of a marker here on this interview, Greg, because I'm telling you, you're going to see this happen over and over again, where it's going to have nothing to do with Jews at all. It's going to be maybe Trump sends ICE officials. Maybe he sends the National Guard to New York if it gets too bad. And Mamdani is going to do illegal things. He's going to ignore. I really think this is a sign that he doesn't respect or accept U.S. law, and that's bad.
Very. All right. Well, Jeffrey Lax, thank you very much from CUNY, and to be continued, sir, okay?
Good to be with you, Greg. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.